who thinks it's useless because the debris can't hurt him. But we learn that Tai is disguised as one of them, and his siblings buffed him with their skills. Makoto doesn't notice him because of the barrage, and he pierces through the ground. Ichiro reveals that the Sakura Roots formation is used to counter underground bunkers, and Tai was the one who suggested it because he realized that Makoto was hiding something beneath him. He reaches a secret chamber where he sees Rei's body, but he realizes that there are threads around her. He touches one of them, but he gets a strange feeling as he hears Makoto's voice telling him it's crystallized Somian. We learn that it's attached to Makoto's body, giving him the power to contain the Hazakura, so if Tai removes it, his body will be destroyed, but it would trigger a massive explosion, which would kill Tai in an instant. But he grabs onto the threads, as he thinks about going beyond his limit for Musumi, and he removes them, triggering a powerful explosion, but he manages to survive because of his blooming ability. Shion reveals that Makoto's Hazakura level is dropping, and he realizes that he can't maintain his body, so he decides to use his remaining strength to self-destruct. But Futaba uses her blooming ability to seal the energy from the explosion, as Nano crystallizes the Hazakura in Makoto's body. Kingo also uses his blooming ability to decrease Makoto's Somian output, and Shinzo wraps his weapon around him as Ichiro sends his wires into Makoto's body, saying it will make his cells vulnerable to their next attack. Tai suddenly appears, and he summons lightning, destroying every cell in Makoto's body. He realizes it's all over for him, and he hears Tsubami's voice, telling him his plan didn't work because he's too kind. She thanks him for his research, saying she will give it to someone else so that it won't go to waste, and she mentions that the 100 years they spent together was too short, but she enjoyed every moment of it. She bids him farewell, and he collapses, as Ichiro reports that they were able to capture him. Seiji mentions that all of the enemies in the hideout have been defeated, so everyone celebrates, realizing it's all over, and Ichiro takes Rei's body, planning to give her a proper burial. We see Momo as he's about to leave the island, but Ban stops him, knowing he has Rei's heart. Ban tells him to hand it over, but he refuses, so Ban shoots him, and he uses his ability to stop the bullet, but the impact creates a huge shockwave. He's impressed by Ban's power, saying his ability wasn't able to absorb the entire force of the bullet, but he suddenly disappears. After that, the authorities arrest Makoto, and he waits to stand trial for his crimes, while the other members of Tenopo are under observation. We see Musumi walking in the woods, and she sees Tai near her mother's grave, so she tries to surprise him, but he reveals that he saw her approaching. She explains that she can feel her mother's blood, so she knows that Rei has been buried there, but she asks him why he didn't tell everyone about his secret mission. We learn that the siblings found out, so Ichiro tried to explain, but Futaba started beating him up. Tai mentions that they still don't know anything about Momo, and he promises to investigate him, but Musumi thinks she needs to pay respects to her loved ones first, and she thanks him for giving her mother a proper burial. The next day, Tai sees Musumi wearing her wedding dress, and Kingo dresses him up, as Futaba tells him it's time for the wedding. So they make their way to the reception area, where Futaba thanks the guests for coming, telling them to enjoy themselves. Tai thinks the wedding is weird, so Musumi tells him that the family is holding the event to introduce the new head and her husband to their clients, revealing that most of them work in the underworld. She mentions that her siblings suddenly decided to do the event this morning, saying the timing is perfect because they just finished their mission on Skeleton Island. The oldest spy in the world approaches Tai, but he suddenly attacks him, and Tai barely manages to avoid it. The spy removes his disguise, and we see that he's actually Ban. Keiko mentions that they're there to congratulate Tai with murderous intent, so he becomes confused, and Ichiro tells him about their family tradition, saying everyone's there to test him by trying to kill him. Ban tells him that he and Musumi could die during the wedding, so he starts to panic, but Ichiro mentions that he will defend Musumi, telling Tai that he needs to protect himself during the event. But they hear Rei telling Ichiro to stop, and they realize that she made a video letter for the wedding when they were still kids. Ichiro wonders why she told him to stop, so she explains that she's worried because he's too attached to Musumi. We see Futaba taking care of her, as Ichiro throws a tantrum, saying he wants her back, and Rei tells them all to stop fighting. They watch the video together, and Musumi starts crying as she remembers her mother. Rei congratulates Musumi on getting married, saying she decided to record herself because she doesn't know when her time will come. She mentions that she enjoyed taking care of all of them, saying she wants Musumi to feel the same way when she becomes a mother. Rei thanks Tai for choosing Musumi, telling him to look after her, so he promises to take care of her. But Ichiro becomes jealous, and he starts to lose it, but the others restrain him, reminding him that Tai is now her husband. Musumi thanks her guests for attending the event, and she promises to perform her duties as the new head of the family, telling them to continue supporting her. But she tells them to shoot her as she walks down the aisle, so Tai freaks out, and Ichiro tells him it's part of the family tradition, saying they need to reach the end without getting shot. But Musumi tells him not to worry, because everyone in the family will protect them, and they rush forward as their guests open fire, but the siblings protect them, and Tai realizes he's starting the next chapter of his life with Musumi. But that's